Hello, fellow friends and neighbors of Bethlehem. Um, I don't normally do things like this, but just I wanted to sort of sleep on what has transpired in the past few days, and address something that's just really bothering me. Um, and I think that things are getting heated a little bit, and that's fine. Like, people are passionate, people really care about their community, and they have a strong opinion about what the future looks like for Bethlehem. And I've been on the record many times in my podcast, in many different outlets, social media, to talk about what I think Bethlehem should look like and how it should function. But I wanted to make something just very, very, very clear. Um, One, I'm not a politician. And two, I don't know why I'm having to say this. I'm not a county commissioner. I don't put laws into effect. I don't like talk about zoning. That stuff doesn't interest me. Uh, and I don't know why I have to say this too, but I didn't write the Bethlehem plan or the 2045 plan. So I just want to make that clear for everyone to understand. Um, yeah, I don't know why I have to say that, but just saying it. Um, but I wanted to make something clear that what I am and what I am about, and that's democracy. Um, and I do think that everyone deserves a voice, and everyone has is entitled to whatever they want to think and however they want to have the vision for Bethlehem and what that should look like. Um, and with that being said, I want to straighten a few things out and make a few things abundantly clear. I don't have an issue with people having a vision and an opinion, but when someone goes on social media and makes a novel about wild accusations about me, other people, I don't know. It just doesn't sit right with me, and I feel like I deserve the opportunity to go on and on the record and set some things straight. Um, I feel like a lot of people know me in this county. If you don't, I'd love to meet you. And I feel like the people that do know me know that I'm a good person, and I want good for people in general. And I don't think that I or our group has any sort of malintent. Um, and there's some like really, really wild stuff floating around out there. So, if you would allow me to just spend a few minutes, maybe 10 minutes, explaining some of these things. What I really, really hate about this is the fact that I'm having to spend time to make a video like this when we should be talking about the issues, talking about things that matter, and not a he said, she said, back in high school BS. And that's just me being frank about it. Like, I don't know how to be more blunt about it. So let's address a few of these things. Okay. So about 2 or 3 days ago, actually, let's go back a week. I've had quite a few people ask, Ryan, love your podcast. Love what you're talking about. Love what you're saying. Love that you're interviewing these people and talking to people. I really want to hear from people from the incorporation that are trying to incorporate. And as do I. We all do. And I will say that I have reached out to Don before, and he seemed receptive about coming on the podcast, but wanted a full list of my questions. And I just told him, I really want to have him on, but I don't need him to have time to look at all my questions and have time to think about how he wants to respond to them. I want to know his general thoughts, his opinion. And honestly, I didn't have a script. I don't have any agenda. I just wanted to bring him on so we could talk about the incorporation and his plans um, for the community, because nobody seems to know what's going on. Um, and there's an argument. Okay, yeah, we've got a website, but there's a lot of missing details there. And we'll get to that in a minute. But beyond that, I'm just giving you a little context to what I'm leading up to. I've asked Kelly a couple days ago. Actually, let's let his sister Crystal Wisnett. I asked her multiple occasions if she'd like to come on and talk on the podcast, because she's extremely vocal on social media and loves to talk about this stuff, loves to defend it, seems very passionate about it, and that's fine. I mean, that's great. I mean, and I'll reiterate, I mean, she's not from Bethlehem, but she has family that lives in Bethlehem, according to what she said. And, that's great. I mean, you care that much to get that vocal about Bethlehem community, that you don't live in, but you've got family. I get some of that. So I thought maybe she'd be a good person to come on and talk and maybe shed a little bit of light about what's going on. Maybe she knows something that we don't, So I'm just trying to get some information, get some opinions, get some feedback from these people. And the only people who seem to be very vocal about it are Crystal and Kelly and occasionally Don and Marie. They're sort of hit and miss. So Crystal completely dodges every time I ask her if she wants to come on, doesn't respond to me at all about it. And, that's fine. It's not for everybody. It is a little more intense, or not so much intense, but more personal. But I do feel like we have conversations that are better in person than on social media. And we talk to each other much differently in person than we do on social media. We tend to be very rude, brash, a lot more confident. I call these people keyboard warriors. And I'm guilty of that occasionally too. I mean, I'm not immune to anything. So I'm giving you a little context here about where this is leading to. So bear with me. So I asked Kelly, I sent him a message, said, Kelly, you're one of the 3 members that are self-appointing yourselves to be mayors of Bethlehem. Will you come on and talk about the incorporation? And at first he said, no, I don't think I'm going to do that. We don't see eye to eye. And, I was like, I'll be civil with you. We'll be respectful. I mean, I don't go up to people in public and just slander them or be rude or by any means. And, a couple days went by, and then, or maybe it was just a day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this just to prove to you that I'm not making this up. So let me share my screen, if you'll bear with me 1 second. So he responds and says, let's do this. Sorry, it's late, but I'm willing to sit down and have a conversation, and not mention incorporation. So that's a period right there, as you can see. All right, cool. First, so we can have a better understanding of who each other is and understanding of our beliefs, or why we're standing up for our beliefs. I believe everyone has a right and responsibility to stand on their convictions. We can go from there if you agree, but only if you can be civil and respectful. I respond, of course, I can be civil and respectful, but, I'm thinking we could just have a meeting. Let's just get to the bottom of it. Let's talk about the incorporation. I'm not sure what we'd talk about outside of the incorporation. Of course, it would be civil and respectful. This was Friday of last week. And then I get this, I think it was yesterday, or it might have been Sunday. So several days had gone by. I made a post and I said, I just talked to my group. I said, I've talked to Kelly. I've asked Kelly, I've asked Crystal, and I've sent messages to Don. And I said, hey, will you come on the podcast? I have some questions. I'd love to get some answers for them. And it's crickets from Crystal and crickets from Don. And it's my understanding that Don and Marie are on vacation out of the country, which is totally fine. I mean, I get it. If he wants to come on later, bring him. I'll be happy to take him on and answer some of these questions. But Kelly's the only one who seemed to be receptive to that. But I mean, you can clearly see it says, let's sit down and have a conversation and not mention incorporation. That's the sentence that I read. Okay. So, and then there's a period there. So I think that he had maybe a typo, or maybe, just fat fingered something, hit a period there by accident. But then after that, it says first. So you can see how that sentence is and how I took it. And I misread what he said, which is an honest mistake. I get it. But instead, these are the people that want to run Bethlehem. So I just want to make it really clear. And I'm just being straight up honest. I misread that sentence, and I went to my group and said he didn't want to talk about incorporation, which is technically not a lie. You're seeing it right here. It's sitting right here in front of you. So I went on and made that post, and then immediately, I guess somebody took a screenshot and sent it to Kelly, and he's furious. He sends me a message back and says, before posting a lie, you should be transparent and learn reading comprehension and reread my last comment you left out. Let's meet first. You're a deceiver. So immediately just comes in attacking me. And I just said, okay, thanks for your opinion. And then I just said, you can dance around it all you want, or you can come on and talk about the incorporation. Like, that's all I want to do is talk about that. And then he commences to say, I wouldn't come on your podcast now if there was no other way. Now, as for you, don't contact me again. So there you have it. There is the conversation that we had. That could be your mayor for Bethlehem. So I've met Kelly multiple times, and when I see him in public, he's nice, he's cordial. I'm sure he's a good person in general. I don't think he can handle taking a little bit of heat. If you're going to be someone, a public servant, someone who is a figure, you have to be ready to answer some of these questions. I mean, and you have to be willing to talk about these things. I could come on and we could talk about how we view life all day long, but I'm not here to do that. I don't want to waste time with that. Let's talk about what you're trying to do, what you have, what's your plans for Bethlehem. And I feel like everybody in Bethlehem deserves a right to know that. So just give me a little context there. So the reason I'm showing you this is because Crystal, Kelly's sister, went on and wrote a novel rant about me, about county commissioners, about the 2045 plan, the Bethlehem plan. I mean, just the same old thing over and over and over. And I feel like it's like a broken record, just repeating these things. But the 2045 or the Bethlehem community plan was written with Bud. I had him on my podcast. It was my last episode. We talked about it. He had a lot of help from the Western Piedmont Council of North Carolina. There was multiple posts on social media. There was posts in the newspaper about wanting community feedback for these things, and it was crickets. So I just want to, I'm going to tell you a little pattern here of things. So now let's talk about county commissioners. They have been talking about the zoning for this new development, Esplanade, or however you want to pronounce it. It's literally in my backyard. I mean, it's right back here. Don is my neighbor. He's like right over there. So I want to make something clear. So we're talking about this. They're talking about county commissioners like they weren't transparent. So I just want to everyone understand that every month. I'm not sure how often these are. I personally, zoning bores me to death. I don't care about it. Maybe I should more, and you can beat me up in the comments if you want. That's fine. But they have had these meetings this has been going on for a year. And I'm pretty sure I've heard Josh Lell mention many, many times We were begging people for feedback, wanting feedback from the people for over a year. And then by the time everyone decides to get involved with it, it's too late and it's a done deal. So I want everyone to understand the hypocrisy of just now catching wind of things and not feeling like they're being involved when the incorporation group is doing exactly that. Exactly. So right now, the people in Bethlehem want to know what's going on. I talk to people every day, and they're like, I have no idea what this is. What do the red signs mean? What do the yellow signs mean? They don't know. People you think that you're informed, and your group, like we have 1,000 people. That's an eighth of Bethlehem if all of them are Bethlehem residents. And then in the other group, I don't know how many people are there, but I promise you it's not any more or less than ours, or wherever it's at as far as just population. So they're angry because county commissioners aren't transparent and they weren't involved with the 2045 plan, the Bethlehem community plan. I'm just sitting here thinking, I didn't realize people cared this much about all these things. And why aren't you trying to be a county commissioner? Why aren't you at these meetings every week or every month or however often they are? Why didn't you respond to the people then? So, but the thing is, the incorporation group is not asking for your opinion. They're not asking what you want. They didn't send out a survey to the people to ask them if they want to incorporate. They're not doing the things that the commissioners and the Bethlehem Community Plan already had asked for previously. They're not even doing that. So they're upset about something that the commissioners and the people that write these plans ask the community for, and they're not even doing it themselves. Makes no sense to me. Okay? So I'll come off that and let's address a few more things. So let's go back to the Crystal rant on that other page where I was sent some screenshots. Honestly, I'd rather just not even see them and let them talk in their bubble all they want. It's fine, but I want to address them because I feel like I have the right to. If you're going to talk about me, then let's talk about it. So the second thing is she goes and says, why would I go on a podcast that gets a couple hundred views per post? Ouch. And the first thing I said was, ouch. Yeah. Yeah, it's a low blow. And I get it. Like, she's, upset, angry with me for, whatever. But I'm just going to say that she's just mad at me and trying to strike a nerve because obviously I've struck him one big time with her. Yeah, Crystal, I've had a couple hundred views and it's not a lot of engagement, but you have to understand there's not a whole lot of people in Bethlehem. We've got 8,000 people, maybe 80% of them have Facebook, or maybe even more. I don't know, maybe less on YouTube. And that's why I don't get the views. And that's fine. I think the one that I have with the sheriff has 1,000 views now, which is pretty good. But beyond that, I don't care about views. If I reach one person and they said, wow, I didn't know that about this person, thank you for informing me, and I've gotten those, my job is done. I've done what I need to do. If I reach one person to understand what the hell is going on in Bethlehem, then I've done my job. Like, I'm doing what your group is not doing. And if you want to be the mayors of Bethlehem, you're going to have to start having a little more PR. You're going to start talking to people, letting people not know what you're doing. Because, and again, I want to be clear. I know that Donna Marie, they're good people. I'm sure Kelly and Crystal are good people, but it's just not looking real good. Okay. So I just giving you a little context that again, I'm showing you these comments that Kelly have like just yell. Basically, if there's any way to yell at me, that's a way to do it. And I mean, is that how he's going to deal with everybody else that has questions? Because they're going to have questions if they become board members for Bethlehem town or city or whatever they want to call it. So yeah, looking at a couple hundred views. Thanks, Kelly. You know, if I've been out to grocery shopping and when I go out to, restaurants, if I run into Kelly or Crystal or whoever, Don, I'll shake their hand. I'll smile and I'll say, hey, I mean, I'm not an enemy with anyone. I'm just trying to make sure that people understand what they're trying to do because they're not doing a good job at telling people what they're trying to do. And they keep saying, go to the website, go to the website. There's nothing on the damn website. I mean, I want to see documents. I want to see papers. I want to see numbers. And I'll get to that in a minute because I want to talk about general funds here in a minute. And I hope they have a good response or a good answer to this. And feel free, if you don't want to come on my podcast, to go and make comments below. So, back to the couple hundred views. It's fine, Kelly. Crystal, it's fine. I'm okay with that. And if you were trying to hurt my feelings, you didn't succeed because I don't care like I said, if I reach one person and I'm going to move on from it because I think it's so petty. I hate wasting my time on stuff like this. So let's go to the next thing. We are attacking and belittling them. So my question is that's what she said about us. Asking questions and trying to find out why they're doing what they're doing is not attacking someone or belittling them. And I want to go on the record because she loves to keep bringing this up. Doxing. I had on the sheriff for Alexander County, Chad. I asked him point blank, if you look up someone's address on GIS, is that doxing? No. Has anyone in our group said, hey, everybody grab your pitchforks and head to the front door of so-and-so's house? No. Posting public information about taxes, you can look mine up. You can look anybody's up if you want to. I mean, I don't get that why she keeps bringing that up, but it's fine. We'll leave. I don't want to beat it. I don't know why we keep talking about this because nobody in our group has any malintent. We're neighbors. Like, I don't want anyone to be attacked, hurt, any of those things. I don't want that for anyone. Like that you don't put those words in my mouth and anyone else's. That's absurd. So just please, can we move on from that conversation? I mean, I'm pretty sure that Kelly had a post about me being late on my taxes and put his foot in his mouth because I already publicly said in one of my podcasts that I was late on paying my taxes, but it was because my tax bill was so high that when I ran it with my card, Truist thought that it was fraud. So just to make that clear, I paid mine on time, but it kicked it out and I didn't realize it until it was too late. And I paid a fine 1 week later. I was 1 week late because of that. And I paid that fine and mine is paid up. So yeah, I was late, but for a different reason. So I just wanted to make that clear as well. Again, I hate that I keep having to have these conversations and talk about these things, but here we are. So, all right, so let's move on to the next one. Kelly said, I'm sorry, I keep saying the wrong names here. Crystal said in her rant that, look at the Taylorsville Times. Ryan wants Bethlehem to become a big city. So if you find that post where I said, in quote, I want Bethlehem to become a big city, I'll give you a $1 trillion because it don't exist. I've never said that ever. But what I will tell you what I've said, and this continues to show a pattern of things that I say, and they twist what I say to make it something juicy when it's not. Okay? So listen very carefully. I want to see Bethlehem grow. I want to see butts and seats at Bethlehem School. I want to see new families come in. I want to see that when people want to get out of Mooresville, Charlotte, this is a good place for them to come because it's already growing. It's a good place to be. People have to live somewhere. People, you have to understand that. You can't keep a private backyard forever. If that's what you wanted, and I've said this 100 times, move to Vashti. It's beautiful country. Move out into the mountains. Move to a small, sleepy town. That's fine. Bethlehem is a progressive side of Alexander County. I've said this over and over. It's growing. It's going to grow. It's going to continue to do that. And I think most of the people, I'm not trying to speak for everybody, is okay with that. Like growth, new things coming, Japanese restaurants, passing the alcohol referendum. I mean, new things happen. Starbucks coming in, Dunkin' Donuts, all these things that I've seen you there. You're in the drive-through getting them. So, and if it's something that you want or need, you're either going to get it here or you're going to drive across the bridge to go get it. So yeah, I'll just say it's a wild accusation and a stretch of the truth to say that I want Bethlehem to become a big city, because one, Bethlehem's not big enough to be a big city. I mean, you think I want it to be Charlotte or Mooresville or Huntersville? I mean, just alone, like their cities are 26 square miles. We have just Bethlehem is 26 square miles. And there's maybe 1 or 2 square miles of what would be considered commercial area of Bethlehem. The rest is farmland, which leads me into my next point. Can we please stop talking about save your farmland? It's ridiculous. That I have talked to many of the farmers, and I want you to understand that they own a lot of property. They pay a lot of property taxes. So when you say, hey, let's incorporate, do you think that they want to pay more taxes? No. And if you drive through Bethlehem, do you see any yellow signs in front of their farmland property? No, they're all red. I've hand delivered quite a few of them myself. Save your farmland. Just stop talking about that. Like it's not, I don't know. I'm just going to go ahead and say that farmers that own farmland don't sell their land, and they don't get bought up by other people unless they're not a successful farm and it becomes something else. It's not the Wild West. It's not Russia. It's just not going to happen. I mean, y'all can let go of that one. That's just, nobody's buying into that. So, and I want to preserve farmland, our farmers. That's what makes the world go around. That's what puts food on our table. These are very important people. And they're hard workers. So I just want to tell you that, save the farmers. Just stop, please. Just stop talking about that. All right, so let's move on to the next thing. Let's talk about, I'm reading through here. So let's talk about the Bethlehem zoning website, bethlehemzoning.com. There's a paragraph that says, our proposed budget and draft General Assembly bill will significantly reduce the net tax rate from 0.05 to 0.007 per 100 by eliminating the current 0.043 Bethlehem fire tax and instead funding the fire department through, quote, general funds. Okay. Wonderful. They've heard the people realize that people don't want to pay more taxes. And they're trying to fund the fire department through general funds. So I'm sitting here thinking, okay, so we pay for things by taxpayers. And, again, I'm not a politician. I don't understand treasury stuff, economic stuff like some pros do, but I'm not a rocket scientist, and and I'm not, maybe many would say I'm not a smart person, but where is this money going to come from? What is general funds? What is that? Please explain it to me. So I'm going to just start this last segment here, since I can't get any of them to come on my podcast and to talk and give us some more details about these things. I'm going to ask these questions here, and I'm going to hope that Don or Kelly or Marie or whoever will come on in some format and answer some of these questions for us. Maybe they can do it in their own group and somebody can screenshot it. It's the silliest thing I've ever heard about this group stuff. But so I'm going to ask a few questions and I want them to answer them, because if I can't get them to come on here, maybe I can get them to answer them here. So my first question is, what are general funds? What is that? Who pays? I mean, where does that money come from? That I don't get it. Like, taxpayers pay for their towns, their cities, their municipalities. What is general funds? Like, these paragraphs look really nice and it's really seems like a great thing, but what is that? What is general funds? I mean, I want details, like where's the budget? Where is that budget? It was submitted to the Treasury. We had to find that link and share it with our people. Don and Marie should be telling people that this is what we're about to do. Here's our proposed budget. Take a look at it. But that's not happening. So, all right. So answer that question. What are general funds? Really want to hear that. Like, if it's not taxpayer money, where's that money coming from? Okay. The second question is, where was the survey? And this is sort of a lead into the third question. Do you have a general desire for a majority vote? Answer that question. So there was a survey in 2000. I mentioned this just about every podcast where we talk about incorporation. They got a pulse check from the community. They asked them, is this something that you want? Do you want to be incorporated? Can you send out that survey? Would you? Are you interested in knowing a town that you want to run, that they actually want what you're trying to do? And if I don't know if that doesn't spell democracy, what does? I mean, so our people and people that still probably don't even know what's going on, I'm sure would like to go and voice their opinion. Do you care about that? So that's the third question. Second one is like, why didn't you do a survey? The third one is, do you want to know what the community wants to hear about it? Do you want to see it go to a vote? Or do you want to slowly just quietly slip it through and let the General Assembly decide, and not the people that live in the town? So just answer that question honestly. I really would love to know. The fourth question is, where is the real budget? This is sort of hand in hand with what are general funds. Let's see it. Show it to us. Like, let's see the document. Share the document. Don't tell us to go to the website. I'm not going to go dig for it there if it's hidden somewhere. Or not hidden, but just like in behind like a sub page somewhere. Show us the budget. Tell us your plan. And my fifth question is hand in hand for all these questions. Why are so many people in the dark? Why are you not public about these things? Why have you not had a town hall-esque type thing for Bethlehem? Why are you not talking to the people that have put so much time and effort into Bethlehem and know a lot of these things? Why are you working out off on a side path instead of joining with people, talking with people in our group about community coming together? I bet you money if you would come to a BBA meeting and just network with people, you could probably get a lot less friction and get an understanding of what you're trying to do, where you're trying to go, and work with people instead of being off on the side, hiding off in, like, I don't know. I've ranted about this long enough, but I just want everybody to know that if Donna Marie wants to make it good with Bethlehem and Kelly, they're going to have to change the way that they react to the people that live in the town that they're supposed to be civil servants for and represent. It's just going to have to change. I mean, and you're going to have to stop attacking people, like, plain and simple. I understand that Crystal is not a board member or interim board member, but you're going to have to stop making these wild accusations about people. It's just, it doesn't look good. It's not cute. And yeah, I mean, just these are the people that are going to potentially run Bethlehem. So I'm giving them all an opportunity to make it right and answer these questions that I've asked, and do it civilly. Don't go behind like one of your pages and then just bash me, a random person who just likes to talk, who's just a Bethlehem member, community member. Don't go and like, because I'm not a mover and shaker. I don't make any decisions. I don't do anything productive in that space. I'm just here to try to give a voice for everybody. And I understand that when you step in these positions that you're going to take heat, and that's fine. I get that. Like, I'll take a little bit of the heat. That's fine. But talk to the people. You don't waste your time going on Facebook and ranting about me. Tell the people what you're doing. You're not doing a good job at it. You're just not. And when I see you in public, I'll shake your hand. Like I said, I'm not an enemy with you. I just want you to be responsible for what you're trying to do. Okay. It's a big, 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 big decision, and do it the right way. Just do it the right way. I mean, get a vote, talk to the people, join an organization. I mean, do some of these things. This is not who we are. This is not Bethlehem. And this is why it's not jiving. It's just not. So I've done talking. If you're still here with me, I'm sorry that you had to hear all this. And I don't want to make these anymore. So let's just stop being mean to each other and talk about these things. Be public. Work with people. We're all adults. Okay? Thank you.